Good morning from weirdly overcast and sometimes rainy Central Portugal. The rain is very welcome though, no complaints there. The weather's beautiful, it's basically perfect, even a bit chilly. I've got this sort of cozy jumper on. And I'm coming at you from my new sort of shaded workshop area. Of course, it's a day where I don't really need shade, but I'm very happy to have this, and I'm going to be doing lots of projects in this space this month. July is going to be all about building, and more building. Mostly my focus will be inside because, let's be honest, I've been living in squalor for far too long. I've been really focused on the garden, and now I want to take my efforts inside, especially as the weather gets really hot, hide inside, do some carpentry, make some major life improvements inside the house. And the first of those improvements will be today's video where I make kitchen shelves. I've got this area in the corner of the kitchen that's basically just grown into another chaos area of mine, where I stack boxes on top of boxes. I don't know what's in the boxes. I don't even want to go look. It's very terrifying. And now that I'm starting to preserve my food into jars, I need a place for those jars to go. So shelves are of the utmost importance if I'm not going to be tripping over everything inside my house. So today, I'm going to bring you a video of me making some shelves for that little corner of the kitchen to make it a little less chaotic and to make my life a lot better. Won't you come with me into the gloom? So this corner of darkness is going to be sort of a pantry-like shelf situation. Currently, it just has a bunch of storage boxes down here on the ground. I have no idea what's in those. Occasionally I have to go in and try to figure it out because I'm looking for something, but mostly I just avoid this area. Today I'm going to attempt to make some shelves. Okay, first things first, I need to find some wood, and I think I have what I need up in the mezzanine, which is also an area of darkness and terror. I've got lots of random things up here. Hopefully what I need isn't buried beneath what I don't need. I probably should organize this better. So I don't actually remember. I had a plan at some point. Do I remember what that plan was? I do not. I think this piece might have been involved. Or maybe I'm just saying that because this piece is the one that's right in front of me. Oh no, this piece is definitely too short. Or is it? Yes, this piece was not involved. It just happens to be in my way. But not as in my way as this piece. Ah! Okay, so this is not organized well. Mezzanine is definitely the place that I banish things to and hope never to encounter again, but I need wood, so here I am. I'm pretty sure the pieces I need are one of these. Nope, that one's too short. Oh man. This is gonna suck. I can already tell. I think those two pieces of wood are what I was looking for. Actually, no, I think I have different ones that are already cut to size, but I buried those like a fool. So rather than search through everything, I'm just going to use what I can find on top. And then I'm going to work in this area, basically building shelves. Less talking, more building, and I'll just show you what I'm doing rather than trying to explain it because I'm going to be honest, I don't have a fully formed idea, so explaining it will be tough. it's a bit difficult to explain my vision, but let's try. These two guys here are the uprights that are going to be holding the shelves in place at the front. And the tops of the posts will be somehow fastened up here. And then we'll see. And so this will all sort of go together in here. The piece I just removed will go on top. The uprights will go there and there. And the complicating factor is this wall here, because one of the uprights will be sort of flush against the side. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy, so it won't be perfect. And I'll have to plaster this smooth before I install that one. So it's a combination of carpentry and plastering to finish this job. And yeah, it's a little bit more complicated than just kind of whacking a bunch of pieces together. So let's see how it goes. I'm a really big fan of timber framing, but I think when you're making stuff like cabinets and smaller things with smaller bits of wood, it's not necessarily realistic. But I really don't like the look of screws. I like to make things that sort of have the illusion of fig tree. Have the illusion of being timber framed, even when they're not. Sneaky, I know. So anything I build in my kitchen, I'm going to make a big effort into trying to hide the screws behind dowels, and just to make it look sort of like it's been put together with wooden pegs, even when it hasn't. Because I really do like to complicate life. Of course, it's going to make everything take a lot longer, but I think it's going to make everything look really cool if I can get it right. So this piece here is the bottom of the shelf. It's going to be raised up off the ground. And the one upright for the shelf will be this guy. So imagine this vertically. The other one will be that one there. And so what I want to do is cut out some of the front of this, cut out the back of this, and basically have it so that this sits in there. But if I can get this one sort of done, at least in my own mind, I'll have kind of a proof of concept, and then I can go from there. I don't think my ergonomics for sawing are amazing, and this table is an absolute piece of crap, but it's sort of getting the job done. I need to make a better, more sturdy work table for sure at some point. And so I made this piece a while ago, a bunch of bits of wood sort of stuck together with screws and glue, and now I'm hacking into it so the uprights will sit sort of wedged in there. So now I need to cut off the bottom of this so it'll nestle nicely in here with a bit of an overhang to sit on. Alright, we're back in the dark corner of Doom, and hopefully you can kind of get a better idea of the method to my madness. Yes, I have spent all day making these two pieces of wood. I've been doing a few other things in between, but these things take time, you know? So I want to build the lime out so it's sort of flush with the wood, which will be a little bit more work than I was expecting. I didn't realize it was so far out at the top. You can see at the bottom, there's only a small amount of space, and then as I go up and up and up and up, the gap gets wider and wider. Within here, there will be shelves. It's quite a big space. I think it'll be really, really useful. This side of the shelf will have this tongue and groove stuff on it, kind of clad out to here. I can't find the right size tongue and groove at the moment. I've already started using this size, so I need to continue. And so I'll need to get a hold of some of that before I can actually do that side, but I don't need that done in order to actually put the shelves in, so it's fine. And the next step after that, which I'll probably save until tomorrow, will be building up more render. So yeah, still lots to do, but it's slowly taking shape. But before I can go too far with the carpentry and move on to actually making the shelves, I need to make sure that the wall is finished. Because once the sort of framework for the shelving unit thing is finished, I won't really be able to easily access that wall because all the wood will be in the way and it's a pretty cramped space. So what I'm going to do now is mix up a batch of render, or plaster, or whatever it's called, with coarse sand and lime putty. And that's kind of the base layer that I've been using for the wall of the kitchen. And then in order to finish off the wall in that area, I'll need to do a mix of fine sand with lime putty, which is just lighter, it's nicer to use, and it's much better as a sort of final finish coat render. I haven't actually ever done a finish coat render. It'll be hidden inside the shelf, so that's good because then I can kind of practice, and if I completely make a balls of the whole thing, at least it'll be hidden in the shelf. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes. It'll be interesting, it'll be a fun challenge, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I need to get some sand, fine sand and coarse sand, make up 2 batches, and that'll give me something to work with. The sooner I get it on the wall, the sooner it'll dry, and the sooner I can move on installing the shelves and sort of finishing off that corner. So yeah, time to mix some lime. So I've got my 2 buckets of lime. One is more full than the other, which is fine. Ooh. So because I've had them kind of sitting in the sun, it's sort of getting pretty dry, so I'm really lucky that I checked on it. Still got some water in there. It hasn't turned into a total brick, but had I left it for longer, it might have been trouble. And so I've made a handy dandy little mark here, which will tell me how full to put this of sand. And I'll do three sands up to this level to 1 lime. So the mix is not, 100% accurate. It's just a line on a bucket, but as close to 3 to 1 as possible consistently will give me the same color each time. Got my water, and what I like to do is mix it up with 2 buckets with a bit of water, see how it's going, and then I'll add the 3rd bucket of sand in. Can see sort of stays on the trowel. If anything, it might be a little wet, but it's okay because I'm not using it today, so I wanted to make it a bit wet, get it all mixed up nicely, and it'll sit until tomorrow when I'll use it. And now I'm going to make the mix with the coarse sand. So this is the mix with just 2 buckets of sand, and it's like soup. So I always do this with the coarse sand for some reason. I can never get it right the first time. I was hopeful, but I was a fool. So I'm going to add the 3rd bucket of sand in. I suspect the reason is because the sand is wet. That's going to be my excuse. Lime fail. Wow. The fine sand mix was pretty successful, but the coarse sand, soup-like substance, much less successful. So 50-50. I'm not an expert. It's usually hit and miss. I definitely shouldn't have added all that water at the very beginning. I did that because I was afraid of the lime sticking to the bottom because the lime was quite dry. Mistake. I should have mixed it up a bit more first and then added the water later on. So, lesson learned, don't add the water at the beginning. Add it bit by bit towards the end. This is a terrible mix. So runny, and I wonder if it's also too sandy. I won't really know until tomorrow. My worst one yet. I should be getting better at this, shouldn't I? So I'll leave this tray out. I won't put it in this direct sun, but I'll put it in the shade and see what happens to it by tomorrow. Hopefully it's a little drier. Because I cannot use this as it is. So it's the next day, and I want to check on the lime to see what it's doing. It seems like it's solidified quite a bit, and hopefully it's something I can work with. So let's take a look. What I'll probably do here is sort of adjust it so that the water wants to go. Which way does the water want to go? Just make a space for the water to go, and then I'll sort of tip the bucket over when it has a chance to kind of pool. Drain some of it out, and then let it sit for a bit longer. This one seems now that it's too hard. So I don't know what my plan is here. I think what I might do is, I could quite easily rehydrate this as I go, but I think what I'd like to do is maybe drain water out of this one, add this drier one in, and then whiz the whole thing around with my paddle drill. And hopefully after that, the whole thing is sort of a consistency that's a little bit more what I'm looking for. So I think if I just leave it in the bucket probably for a few hours and then do the same thing I just did where I let the water pool, tip some of it out, give it another whiz around, I think it'll be perfect. So filming in this corner is not ideal. It's quite dark and gloomy. My shadow is in the way. Hello, shadow. I have this light, which hopefully will improve the situation. And then I have this other light. Ooh, bomb, sugar, bomb, bomb. That adds an interesting element, but let's stick with the regular light. Much better. Basically, my plan is to line this piece up in place, and that's going to give me sort of a line from where the inside of the shelf is and then the outside. I'm going to make a mark, and then I'm going to plaster the inside of the shelf with the lime that I made with fine sand. So it's like a final coat of plaster. I've never done it before. I've only ever done kind of rough coats like this, which are obviously very rough and don't need to be perfect. This next coat will be the last coat, so I want to make it as good as possible. However, because it's living inside of the shelf, nobody will really see it. So if it sucks, only I will know. Ha 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 ha! That was weird. But only I will know. So it's a good way to kind of practice plastering when you can do it on areas of your house that are kind of hidden away. So that's my plan. Unfortunately, it is a bit cramped in there, so it's not like ideal. I'll probably have to like fold my elbows in and squish myself into the corner and try to plaster like this, which probably isn't the right technique, but I'll see if I can make it work anyways. I'm looking forward to this. I like jobs where I'm kind of like, you know, a little bit confident that I can do it, but not 100%. So this is one of those jobs. I don't exactly know how it's going to go, but it keeps it interesting for me, so I'm looking forward to getting started. And yeah, first steps first, mark out the line, and then go get the lime. Line, then lime. So this gap could be a problem. It could end up looking really, really weird. What I should have done is probably cut out a section of the bottom of this piece of wood and move the whole thing over so that the gap at the top was smaller. It would have saved me a lot of work. It would have saved potential weird lookingness because now the top part of the wall will look a lot thicker than the bottom part. But I've already cut this piece out, and yeah, actually this is one of these things. Do I make that adjustment? No, I'm going to keep it as it is because it lines up nicely with this piece here. I'll make it work. So the inside of the shelf won't be built up in the same way as the outside will. Just to save materials, time, and effort, but the outside will have to be built up because you can see it from this side, and it'll look weird if it's not. Okay, I have a line, so I'll be plastering this side from the top to the bottom, or possibly from the bottom to the top. So I've got the crappy water bottle back, not just for murdering aphids, also for spraying walls. So from what I understand, whenever you're working with lime and applying it on other lime, you want to make sure the wall underneath is super wet so that the underneath wall doesn't steal moisture from the render you're putting on, make it dry too quickly, and then make it crack. So that's what I did. I just wet the wall, and now I'm gonna go get some lime and start spreading it on. And hopefully it goes on like icing a cake. Actually, I'm not a baker, and I've never really successfully iced a cake. I've definitely had lots of cake icing fails, so I take it back. Hopefully it goes on smooth like butter, or some other smooth thing. So I'm not 100% sure I'm supposed to start at the bottom and move up, but that's what I'm going to do because it just feels like the right thing to do. So I'm just going to dive right in. It's pretty sticky. Don't know if this is the right tool for the job. Let's give it a try. It seems kind of big, but who knows? It's actually surprisingly hard work to push it on the wall like that, but it seems to be going on pretty well. So I'm going to resupply the lime and probably turn the camera off, charge it up, and just get to it, put some tunes on, get this job done, and come back to you at the end when it's all hopefully nice and smooth and awesome looking. We'll see. Okay, so I have iced the wall, basically. You can see it's a little ripply in parts. So what I'm going to do is finish it with a sponge, which I feel like I've seen other people do. I'm going to let it dry a little bit and then come back and try to make it more smooth. I enjoyed this. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the old plastering. This part up here was quite tricky, but no one will ever see it, so it's fine. Flashlights everywhere. It's nice and bright in here. I should have put that up there before. Lesson learned. So you can see undulations and some little indents and stuff like that. I want to smooth those out, so I've got a sponge. Sponge seems to be working. I shall continue. So I want to keep this sprayed, just a light misting so it doesn't dry too quickly. And yeah, I guess this is finished. I think it looks really cool. Really, really cool. It's kind of a shame it'll be hidden in the shelf, but there will be plenty of other areas with a lime finish in the kitchen. So yeah, it's good to get practice where nobody can see. And hopefully there's no cracking. Hopefully it all stays on the wall. And yeah, I'll be curious to see the finished product. Okay, that's a wrap on part 1. I promised you guys kitchen shelves, and I feel like I've barely even started working on the shelves, but that's all coming in the second part. This is a long video. It's my first building project video. I think I got a little carried away with the filming. I'm new to this whole video thing, and I really do appreciate any tips and advice from you guys, what you like, what you want to see, and all that stuff. So yeah, leave a comment and let me know what you think. The next video will actually be tomorrow. It's going to be my June recap and July to-do list, goals, and all that kind of stuff. So rather than putting it out on the 1st, which is a Friday, which is the day of my usual videos, I've pushed it to the 2nd. So there'll be an extra video tomorrow. Way! Exciting times. As always, thanks for watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one, which will be tomorrow, and then part 2 next week. If you like the video, please share it around, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.